That is so funny. I was just cracking up because Asparagus Ash just posted in the live chat. He or she said, let me mute this one. He or she said, if he's late, I shall be forced to wait longer. It's just making me laugh. So that's awesome. But what's going on, everybody? We got V-Stag in the house. We got Chef, Airhawk, April Shaw. What's going on, April? Fanatics, Aquatics, Dion, V-Stag. Kang Lee's in the house. Dwayne Kitchell's here. Glenn's here. What's going on, Glenn? A lot of people here. Suzanne's here. A name I don't know how to pronounce. Jim Darrow. So a lot of good people here. Danny's new channel, The Life with Danny. Jordan Leroy. So shout out to everybody that's here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Sunday. I know I am. We actually got up, got to church. We were a little bit late. Hung out with the family, went out to eat. It was just, a good time. Anytime you get to spend time with family is good. And so it's just been awesome. A lot of people here. So thank you guys all for being here on a Sunday. Hopefully you guys enjoyed your weekend, didn't get too rowdy, and had a good time. So we have been crazy busy. I know you guys haven't seen many videos from me or updates, except for like the 1,200 gallon fish room tour, which we did. That was fun. It was really cool to see that. If you guys haven't saw that video, go check it out because it is definitely worth watching. But other than that, we really haven't done any update videos on what's been going on. I have to say, this is what happened. I got some video of it, but not much. Last Monday, we bit off more than we could chew. We started packaging at 7:30 a.m. and we started on all the orders that we thought we could do, which was like a lot. And we literally got done packing at 4 a.m. So it was like a 21-hour day, something like that. It was absolutely brutal. But we got a lot of the packages out. Thank God we didn't have many like packages go bad because it was really hot last weekend. I was like sweating bullets. We did have some packages with DOA, but that is destined to happen, especially when you're shipping out thousands of shrimp. And so luckily it went pretty good. And so needless to say, I was absolutely 100% exhausted this whole week. And it's just been catch up, like ordering new material, shipping supplies, being on top of this, ordering that, and just trying to catch up. So it has literally been crazy. But yeah, somebody just said Toast the Red Tail was a beast. Toast the Red Tail was like a 3-foot catfish in a 1,200 gallon aquarium, and it was just so cool. That tank was so fun to see. But so we had our hands full, but it worked out really good. We got a lot of stuff out. Now tomorrow is going to be equally as brutal. We're shipping out every other package that we haven't shipped out yet, which is again a lot. And I'm not complaining in any way. It's been really good, and you guys have blessed us and really supported us, and so we really appreciate it. It's just a lot of work, and it's fun. But anyway, so today we are talking about a specific shrimp. I wanted to do a shrimp Saturday, but I literally ran out of time. We had too much stuff just going on. Other things came up, like this tank had to be maintenance, and that tank had to be maintenance, and so it just got a little crazy. But we did want to do a shrimp Saturday, but on Sunday. And so today we're talking about black rose shrimp, one of my personal favorites, at least out of the ones that we import. They are gorgeous, especially for a Neocaridina shrimp. Usually you don't get the black in the Neos like these ones. And I actually brought some with me. These are just 4 random ones that we brought. I know the color's not going to show up good, but they're just like a nice solid black color. And they're absolutely beautiful. So these have become one of my favorite shrimp. And we got Steam Fought Aquatics in the house. What's going on, Bob? But yeah, so I wanted to talk about these today. And we used to, back in the day, we used to do shrimp Saturdays where I would talk about how to breed a specific shrimp, and then I would do a special on that shrimp. And so we're going to do that today. So we're doing the black rose shrimp. We're doing a special on them. I believe it's 25% off. Yes, it's the special is for 25% off black rose shrimp. You can find those on flipaquatics.com. I got all this stuff down in the bottom, like right down below in the description. If you guys are interested in some black rose shrimp, the discount code is BlackRose25, and that will run it through Monday night. And so if you're on the West Coast, it will still run until 12 o'clock your time. And so you guys feel free to take advantage of that if you want to get black rose. But that is what we're talking about today. And I'm going to get into genetics, just overall breeding, what you need, and everything that you just need to know if you want to breed black rose shrimp. So first of all, let's start with the tank setup. I was gonna do notes, but I was too busy at the warehouse feeding. So I've been preaching this for forever, as long as I could remember, well, which is like 2 years. But whenever you start any shrimp tank, there are 3 things you must have, or at least 3 things that I think will definitely benefit you in the long run. The first one is moss. Every tank needs moss just because it houses so many microorganisms. Different types of algae will grow on it. The moss is consuming nitrates in the water. It's just overall a good thing having plants in an aquarium. It adds a place for shrimp to hide. And so the number one thing, probably the number one thing that I would recommend for any shrimp tank is moss. The number 2 thing would be probably leaves. I think leaf matter is extremely important because you got to think where shrimp come from. They come from places that are slow-moving streams in forests that have tons of leaves in it, tons of plants, tons of places for them to hide. And so the more leaves you put in a tank, the better. Now, you can't go overboard or else the pH will just shoot way down and the shrimp won't do good. But leaves is a great thing. I personally use Indian almond leaves, which is extremely beneficial to me. I'll try to watch the chat too. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to interrupt me. But yeah, so leaves are extremely important. And then the last thing that I like to include in tanks is driftwood. And the reason I like to include driftwood is because, again, it leaches, tannins, which same thing with leaves. And I believe tannins have antioxidants in it that help fight off bacterial infections. It adds natural vitamins into the water. It just has a lot of good qualities about it. It does turn your water brown, which isn't always the good thing, but driftwood is another good thing. And the other reason I really like driftwood is because most of us have, 1 or 2 tanks, maybe 5 tanks if our wife lets us or if our husband lets us. And so if you have only a couple tanks, odds are you're really going to take care of them. You don't want algae on the glass. But when you have a piece of driftwood and you put that in your aquarium, you're not going to get in there and scrub a piece of driftwood. So algae is going to constantly be growing on that, and you're not going to really care because it's a decoration, and that's just the nature of the beast. And so shrimp actually use that driftwood as a natural feeding ground for them. And so it's just overall a good thing. I definitely recommend it. So the next thing is probably filtration. I always recommend probably one of the most basic filtrations. Let me see. I got a question from Fanatics. I want to make sure I don't miss it. What's up? Got in your red fancy tiger shrimp in and was all in perfect shape until about an hour ago. I lost just one. Should I be worried? All basic parameters seem in check. Help. So Fanatics, same thing with all shrimp. The one thing that I can preach more than anything else is patience. Whenever you get shrimp, especially Neocaridinas, Caridina, whatever it is, patience. And the first 30 days of getting shrimp in is called the red zone. And so this is another reason why we quarantine our shrimp for 30 days. Is the red zone is where you get shrimp in, most likely when they go through males or go through the male, they're getting stressed out, they're in breather bags, they probably aren't eating for a couple days, they tend to molt. And when they molt, they're usually molting early. So now they're kind of like really stressed out, like they might have molted too early. So the first 30 days is when you're going to see deaths. And why I say patience is because the worst thing you could do is start changing things. The shrimp just went through a huge change by going from my tanks to your tanks. And so the last thing you want to do is keep changing things on them. So if you got all the parameters correct, everything looks right, then you just got to give it time. Now, after 30 days, 45 days, if you're still getting deaths, then you probably something's wrong. And so now you want to kind of pinpoint the problem, and I can help you do that. But you just go one thing at a time. Every single time, the red zone, the first 30 days, you just give them patience and you just let them do their thing. Now, if you buy 30 shrimp and 15 are dead day one, then you have a serious problem. But if you're just having one die off here or two die off there, then it's not as big of an issue. It's still not good, but you just want to kind of give them patience, give them time to settle in, and usually everything will work out right. But the other thing, as far as tank setup, so I went over the 3 things that you should use in an aquarium, or at least a shrimp tank, which is moss, driftwood, and by driftwood we always use Malaysian driftwood, if you guys were wondering. And the other thing was leaf matter, which we usually use Indian almond leaves. The next thing is filtration. We use the most basic filters, pretty much sponge filters, but we call them, they're matin filters, which it's a huge sponge. It takes up the whole wall of a tank, and then it has a little lift tube that comes up and shoots water out. It's all air driven. It's really inexpensive to operate, which will save on your electric bill, which will make your significant other happy, will make your wallet happy. But if you're in the aquarium hobby, then your wallet's not happy anyway, because this can be an expensive hobby. Trust me. But it's fun. But anyway, the matin filter is seriously one of the best filters, and the reason why is the matin filter has a huge, I need to mute my phone. I hate when it does that. There we go. Anyway, thank you to whoever just ordered. Thank you so much. But anyway, so a matin filter literally takes up the whole side of the aquarium. We also sell these on our website if you guys are interested. We're pretty much out of stock right now, but they should be done this week, and they will be up on the website next week, and we have all different sizes coming in. But totally besides the point. But the fact that they take up a whole side of the aquarium, that is surface area for the shrimp to graze on, to eat biofilm, microorganisms. And in all my tanks, if you guys watch my videos, you'll see that like 75% of the shrimp are always on that matin filter. And so it's a really, really, really good thing to use. And so that's what we use for filtration. But if you don't want to use that, normal sponge filters work. You can use a hang on the back or a canister filter as long as you have like a sponge over your intake so that you're not sucking up baby shrimp. But that still can be risky, and it's not necessary. So it's completely up to you what you want to do, but it usually will always work out good. We got LR Brett's in the house. I just saw that. What's going on, Lucas? I'm glad you're here, buddy. Always good to have you in the house. And so the other thing about a tank setup is water parameters, which we talk about this all the time. Neocaridinas prefer hard water. I mean, it's really, really like a known thing now. I preach it in almost every video. If you want to do Neocaridina, get hard water. All of our tanks have a TDS between 200 and like 300, like 300 being the absolute max. We use RO water, but you don't have to. Usually the GH. So this is another thing most people get confused on. So I'll say like TDS between 200 and 300, but when we get them in there, in TDS like 400. And so it's all about what's in your water. So TDS only tells you that there's something in your water, but it doesn't tell you what. So the 2 parameters that I really want to measure when getting shrimp tank water ready is general hardness, which is GH, and carbonate hardness, which is KH. And so your GH, I think we go for, I don't have it in front of me, and it's hard for me to remember everything, but I believe we aim for about 15. So GH of 15, which is really, really hard. That's what we aim for. And because that's where they're coming from. They're coming from a place that has 15 KH. And then a GH of like anywhere between 6 to 8 is usually ideal. Now, if you have a KH of 4, like you're going to be okay. And if you have a GH of 10, you're going to be okay. But you don't want to have a GH of like 3 and a KH of 0. That would kill these shrimp in a heartbeat. So I would say at least have a general hardness of 8 to like 18, and then have a KH of probably at least 3 and no more than 8. And so that's what I would highly recommend. And if I'm missing any questions, I apologize. A good way to ask me a question so I see it is do the @ symbol and then flip aquatics --lup diesel. If you're on your desktop, it should automatically populate once you type in flip. But if you're on your phone, then you have to type it all out. So I'm getting ready to drop the lup diesel off of the name, but that's totally besides the point. And so anyway, that is your complete tank setup. You know what should go in it, some moss, some driftwood, some leaves. You should filter it with a matin filter, I personally think, but you can do a little bit of anything. And then I didn't talk about substrate. You generally don't need substrate, but it definitely helps. It definitely helps for keeping bacteria in there. And so we always use pool filter sand, which you can get at, I don't know, any spa place. We get it at Burnett Pools, but you can really get it anywhere. You can get it at Lowe's or Home Depot or Menards. It's usually not labeled pool filtered sand or pool filter sand, It's usually like play sand, and most of those will work. You just have to be careful. It's always good to Google it on your phone and just make sure that it'll work. And so that's what we use. Terry Blake in the house. Terry Blake dropping a $5 super chat. He said, "Hey, I have a ton of water flea looking things in my tank. How do you get rid of them, and are they harmful?" So that's a great question, especially if people are just getting into shrimp. So it's in a normal aquarium, there's always going to be life. So there's always little things swimming through the tank. There's always little worms in the tank. Most of the time in a normal fish tank, the fish will eat those microorganisms or those small little creatures or water fleas or whatever you want to call them. But in a shrimp tank, shrimp don't eat those. And so they end up being more noticeable, especially because shrimp are small. So you're looking more detailed at your tank. And so most water fleas are completely harmless. Now, there are exceptions. So the ones that are harmful, and you guys can look these up and find pictures, or I can even look them up for you and share my screen. Yeah, I'll just do that for you guys, just so you can see them. I'll pull up the 3 and see if I can find them. I'll tell you them as I type them out, though. The first one is Hydra. Hydra is terrible. It's like something that attaches to the glass. Now, I'm sure this isn't considered a water flea because it really doesn't swim through the water, but it does attach to glass and it does eat shrimp. So it is a really bad thing. The next one is planaria, which I'm sure, Terry, you know what planaria look like. And geez, my spelling today. Oh, here's a good picture. All right, and then the last thing, Terry, which is I consider a water flea, it's called a seed shrimp. Seed shrimp will definitely kill your shrimp. They're harmful to them, and they're like these little like shell-looking things. And so as soon as I get all 3 of these pulled up, I will share my screen and let you guys see them. Okay, here's a good picture. All right, so I'm going to do my screen share if I can figure it out. Nope, that's not it. Cancel. You guys are going to have to bear with me. Oh, here we go. Sorry. I found it. It's always different. Let's see if we'll get it right this time. Okay. So the first thing we're looking at is what is called a seed shrimp. This thing, it's actually, this one looks like a Daphnia, which I don't think it is because this is what the seed shrimp look like. But it does kind of look like a Daphnia because here's some pictures of Daphnia to the side. Like this one right here is a Daphnia because it's got the little wings on it. But this thing is a little thing that scurries around basically the bottom of the aquarium. It eats food readily. And whenever shrimp molt, it seems to attack them. And that's when it kills them off. And so I've had these in tanks that they really take over. And it doesn't matter if you're underfeeding, overfeeding, they will dominate your shrimp tank. So if you have these in your tank, definitely try to get rid of them. What I did when I got them in, because I got them in through an import order, I took every shrimp out very carefully, put them in a quarantine tank, and then I put a couple of goldfish in the tank, and they decimated them. I tried doing Corydoras in there for a little while, but they just weren't eating them quick enough. And so I ended up just deciding to break the tank down, or at least put a goldfish in there and move all the shrimp. The other thing is planaria. These are big pests in aquariums. How you know a planaria from another type of worm? Because there's multiple types of worms that are bad or that are in aquariums that aren't necessarily bad. Planaria have a triangular head, and that is what makes them bad. So triangular heads is a telltale sign. So if you ever see something that has this triangular head, it is a planaria, and it will kill your shrimp. So definitely get that out of the aquarium. And it's kind of like a leech. So think of it as a leech. The last thing is Hydra. This thing usually attaches to the walls of the aquarium, to the filter. It attaches to pretty much any surface it can. And these little tentacles, if you guys can see that all right, those will actually catch the shrimp. Think of it as a jellyfish. Like this is in the jellyfish family. I believe so. I'm 99% sure it's in the jellyfish family. But this little thing will literally grab the baby shrimp. It will sting an adult shrimp. Like these things are really bad having in your aquarium. And for planaria, which is this one, and Hydra, which is this one. The way that you kill them is I use a product called fenbendazole, which is a dog dewormer. It's Panicure C. You can get it on Amazon. I dose 0.1 gram per 10 gallons, and it wipes them out. The other thing, Corey, shout out to you from Aquarium Co-op. Corey uses flubendazole, which comes in a liquid form. It's usually a goat dewormer, and he doses, I think it's somewhere around 1 milliliter per 10 gallons. But I would recommend going a little bit slower than that because I'm not sure. Like maybe 1 milliliter per 20 gallons and using that. But those are the things. Yes, that is a great question. Casper Shaw just asked, will fenbendazole kill rabbit snails? Fenbendazole and flubendazole will definitely harm snails. Necessarily won't kill them, but it can. So if you dose too much, your snails will definitely die. If you dose less, they probably won't die, but they could. And so it's definitely something that you need to watch out for, and it will definitely hurt snails. So I would stay away from it if you have snails, or take your snails out. The only thing is your snails could have planaria or hydra on their shell. Probably not planaria, but maybe hydra. And so even dipping their shell in a high concentrate of fenbendazole would, solve that problem. Cost just did a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Cost. He said, hey, Rob, I got some unexpected golden bees in my last order from a local guy, and I put them in my Neocal tank, and they seem to be doing great. Is it normal that they will live in the same parameters? It's not necessarily normal, but, well, actually, you know what? It is normal. Most of my cherry shrimp, or most of my crystal reds, golden bees, and crystal blacks will live in hard water, but they won't breed, and they won't thrive. So they will live. If they breed in your water, that would be crazy. And you got to let me know on that. But I've never got them to breed in hard water. I've had them buried up before, but none of the eggs really made it. So, we got B. St. John in the house. What's going on, Marcus? Marcus Aurelius. And so, anyway, so that is just your basic tank setup. Now, getting back to the black rose, which this is a Neocaridina species. Again, if you guys are just now tuning in, we are doing a Shrimp Saturday special. We used to do Shrimp Saturday all the time. We're doing 25% off the Black Rose on our website, flipaquatics.com. The coupon code, or the discount code, is BlackRose25, all lowercase. No spaces, no nothing like that. And so that's why we're talking about Black Rose today. I really want to bring back the Shrimp Saturday and start having fun with that again. And so anyway, we talked about the tank setup. If you guys have questions about that, I'm sure I won't ramble on for crazy amount longer about the tank setup and how to breed them. But, we're getting a couple questions. I'll answer a few questions before I move into the actual black rose and what it is, the lineage of it, and what you should expect when breeding it. Feeling Better said, at Flip Aquatics, will Prenzipro cure Scuteria? Oh, so you're asking, okay, Prezipro, will it cure Scuteria in a colony of cherry shrimp? It definitely, I'm not familiar with that. So let me look it up real quick, and then I'll tell you. Okay, so it looks like a parasite control for fish. The only thing that I would check, because I don't have time this second, is I would make sure it doesn't have copper in it. And if it doesn't have copper in it, it's worth a try. But an easy way to kill Scuteria in a colony is you can add salt directly to the colony. You could add aquarium salt to it and bring up the salinity in there, and most likely that will wipe out all your Scuteria, and then just do a big water change and get not a huge water change, but do a water change and start bringing down that salinity again. And that's a good way to kill it too. I've used that method and it worked fine. Shrimp are pretty tolerable to salt, believe it or not. And so that's what I would use. Either that, or I would use fenbendazole, like I was just talking about. Fenbendazole will kill it as well. And so those are two good ways to do it. Morgan Verba said, will bristlenose plecos eat shrimp? 99% of the time they will not eat shrimp, but they definitely can go rogue and kill a bunch of shrimp. I've seen it happen. I didn't see it personally, but I've seen it after the fact, not while they were actually eating them. But like, I've had a buddy that had tons of shrimp in a tank, and then all of a sudden they were all gone. And one of the plecos just got hungry and just started eating them. And so that was good. What's going on, Cruz? Koss said, awesome. I'll let you know what happens. Thank you so much, Koss. Please keep me updated. Tori Cook said, off topic, but how did you come up with Flip Aquatics? So really quick, Flip Aquatics is actually an acronym. The Flip stands for freshwater, livestock, invertebrates, and plants. And so my goal as Flip Aquatics is to do all freshwater livestock, not necessarily all of it, probably just nanofish, but especially inverts and plants. Those are my two main focuses. So that's where I came up with Flip Aquatics. And the other thing is Flip represents a sudden change. And at the time, I was really going to be a breeder. I wanted to breed everything I sold. And unfortunately, I couldn't do that. I just couldn't keep up with the demand. And so that's why I changed to importing. But Flip was kind of changing the way that we did stuff in the United States. So you're right, it is off topic. But anyway, I'm staying on topic now. We're going to talk about actual black rose shrimp. What are they? Where do they come from? The first thing is black rose shrimp are a Neocaridina genus, which means that they originate from the same genus of cherry shrimp, blue velvets, all that stuff. Hold on one second. I got to close the door. My dog's outside chewing craziness. Darn Ruby. Okay, so Ruby was going crazy and eating a bottle, and I think Amanda was on the phone, so it was getting me all off topic. But anyway, black rose shrimp, as I was saying, they come from the same genus of cherry shrimp. They're fairly hardy. Of all the shrimp that we import, these are one of two that do the absolute best. The other one would be Bloody Marys. And so these they're hardy as can be. They transport well. They ship well. That's what I meant to say. And they really do great. But one thing to know is so if you look at them, they're actually fairly black. And you see some that aren't very black. So these ones are black. Most of the time they're females. Like when we get them in, we probably get, say, 75% females and 25% male, which is good if you want to breed them. And I think that's because the females show best color, and that's why that it turns out that way. But yeah, so they do have a great black color on them, and they come from the chocolate family. And so if you guys have ever seen chocolate shrimp, they originate from that family. So when you breed them, you're definitely going to get chocolate shrimp. But the other thing that comes from the chocolate line is also blue dreams, variations of blue dreams. The other thing is Bloody Marys. So I think that's why the Bloody Marys do so well, and possibly even the Fantasy Blues do really well, because the chocolate gene is so good. So you got Bloody Marys, you got Black Rose, you got Fantasy Blues, and then you got chocolate. So there's 4 different variations in the same family. And so when you breed these, it's safe to say that you're going to get a little bit of everything. You'll mainly get Black Rose, and then you'll probably get a lot of chocolates. And then every once in a while, you'll get a Bloody Mary or a Fantasy Blue. And so you get a little bit of everything with them. So they're a fun shrimp to breed because you really never know what you're going to get. It's kind of like breeding Michelins. Like you never know if you're going to get, blue bull. You don't know if you're going to get this. You don't know if you're going to get that. Real quick, Terry asked another question. He said, at Flip Aquatics, I think they are the seed shrimp. They killed all my Black Rose, so I will be ordering more tonight, and some goldfish. Yeah, Terry, definitely put some goldfish in there. They will take care of those seed shrimp. But anyway, yeah, so they come from the chocolate family, so you will get some variation from them. But I assure you, they are very hardy. So they're a good beginner shrimp, even though they are pretty pricey. If you take out the pricey part of it, then they really are a hardy, good beginner shrimp, and they do really well. And the other thing is they contrast so well in like a white substrate aquarium, like pool filter sand, like they pop. And so that's another reason why I really like them. They breed really well. Like we get them in, and then in every tank we get a couple hundred babies, like every single time. So they do breed really well, especially in hard water. And like I said, we keep them at GH of about 15, a KH of probably about 6. Temperature, I didn't tell you guys that. We keep them at a temperature of 72, which that's what we keep all Neocaridina at and all Caridina. 72 is just a good temperature. And as far as like water changes and parameters and stuff, we'll get to that in a second. I do want to answer one question by Jordan Leroy. They said, Jordan said, are black rose as likely to get the dreaded green fungus as carbon relies? So the thing with the green fungus, it's Elabiopsidae or Dea, however you want to say it, Elabiopsidae, and it is terrible. Pretty much any Neocaridina can get it and will get it. So when we import, I mean, everything comes in with it. Like out of the black rose, I think we pulled maybe 5 out of 1,000. Bloody Marys, I don't think we pulled any. Now, like the cherry shrimp get it, the green fungus a ton. The carbons get it a lot, and so they're all just as likely to get it. But the more the shrimp costs, basically the less likely it is to have it because they take more care of the shrimp when they have it. And so these guys, we really haven't seen too much of it, but it's definitely still there. The green fungus is terrible, and we guarantee, this is another reason why we do the 30-day quarantine. We guarantee that you will not get it, and if you do, we'll refund you for that shrimp or whatever is infected, and we'll definitely take care of you. And that's why we quarantine. And literally, this is why shipping day is so hard, because this is what I do the whole shipping day. I get the shrimp and I'm under them, like looking. I got a flashlight under here, making sure like there's no parasites whatsoever. And so that's what I do for every single shipment. And so it's time consuming, but it's worth it. And so yes, they will definitely get Elabiopsidae, but it's not like, you shouldn't get it when you get shrimp from us. And if you do, like I said, I'll refund you. Morgan Verba asked another question. She or he said, you should have a big 4-hour shrimp Saturday special to make up for the missed ones. Yeah, so I haven't done a shrimp Saturday in a long time. It has probably been 2 or 3 months, just because of schedule and how busy we were and everything like that. And so it is just, it's a pain. But I am back, and a 4-hour shrimp Saturday would be crazy. But it's definitely not out of the question. Ryland's Aquarium says, Rob, is it normal for 1 or 2 black rose shrimp to die in shipping? So this is what I always say. We always send extra shrimp, and the reason why is because shrimp do die. Like, no matter what, shrimp will die in shipping, especially imported shrimp. We can only guarantee, like, we can only make them so happy. Like, even when we ship USA bred shrimp, they die, like some die in shipping. And so we always include extra for that. So to have 1 dead during shipping or 2 dead during shipping, shipping, it isn't out of the normal. It definitely happens. Now, to get a whole shipment dead is completely out of the normal, and everything like that. That would be bad. But it does definitely happen, and it's not a good thing, especially when we sent out a ton of packs this weekend. And people don't like seeing dead shrimp. Like, not even if it's 1 and we send 2 extra. Like, it's just nobody likes seeing dead things. And so we got a lot of emails about that. So we're working really hard to keep the shrimp as healthy as possible and to ensure that they will not die during shipping. But it's pretty much impossible. Like, we have some tanks that aren't doing the greatest, and we are not going to sell out of them until they start doing good. Like, that's just, even though it's been 30 days, like, we're not just going to start selling out of everything. Like, things have to be healthy, they have to be stable, and that's when we start selling from them. So we do our absolute best, but yes, it is normal to lose a few here and there. Shogun Atomic says, question, if I wanted to run a 20-gallon long with a 60-gallon sponge, do I run a 20-gallon air pump or a 60-gallon air pump? This would be the main filtration, not for a shrimp tank. Yeah, I would just run a 20-gallon air pump. If you have a 60-gallon air pump blowing that much air into a 20-gallon tank, it might get a little crazy. So I would go with the 20-gallon. Jordan Leroy said, that is really interesting on the green fungus and more expensive types. Yeah, so really, the more expensive the shrimp is, the less I see the green fungus. And I honestly believe because the more money they make, the more they're willing to go in there and make sure that it doesn't get the green fungus, so they're willing to do the precautions to prevent it, things like that. Eason Kalad said, I've been watching your videos recently. Thank Aquarium Co-op for that. I will definitely thank Corey from Aquarium Co-op. He definitely sends a lot of people my way, and I really do appreciate it. Dwayne Kitchell says, shrimp in. The Fishner said, hey, Rob, love my fantasy blues. The fish nerd, shout out to you. Carlos, he actually came down and picked up his order. He lives in Cincinnati, which is about 4 hours away. And he drove all the way up here to hang out for about 45 minutes because I had to get home to the wife. And he got some fantasy blues, and apparently he's really happy with them. So that is a good thing. Let me get a glass of water real quick. But feel free, guys. Feel free to ask questions about the black rose. Ask questions about shrimp in general. You can ask about anything shrimp related. We got about 25 minutes left, so really feel free to ask any questions that you guys want. If I missed anything with the shrimp, please let me know. I know I really didn't talk about water changes, and that's a good thing to talk about. Water changes, and then I will answer some questions. Water changes are they're not very hard. You don't have to do too many. Shrimp, as long as you're not overfeeding, they should be able to go a month, 2 months without any water changes whatsoever. Just make sure to add RO water or distilled water just to keep up on evaporation. Make sure it's not evaporating like crazy and the water parameters are changing. Because if you guys don't know this, when tank water evaporates, it only takes pure water with it. It doesn't take any of the minerals. And so the mineral content of your water will slowly build up. And so if you're not topping off your tanks, then your parameters will eventually keep growing and growing and growing and growing, which could be bad in the long run. But we usually just do about 10% water change. Now on the imported shrimp, we tend to do a little bit more. We do about 30 to 40% water change over the course of a week, every single week, just to make sure their parameters are ideal. Because we try to feed them a ton because we want to make sure they're getting the nutrients that they need and everything like that. And with feeding more and having more shrimp per tank, you need to do more water changes. But in a normal tank, you shouldn't have to do water changes more than once a month. Kosh said, Flip Aquatics shipped to me and customs held the package for longer than expected, and I still ended up with 20 shrimp I ordered, and they are still doing well. Yeah, so I sent a package to Cost in Canada, and it literally took, I think, a little over a week to get there, and I was like, oh my gosh, like they're all going to be dead. Like this is going to be terrible. Maybe they got denied in customs or something, and they ended up making it all the way there, and all the shrimp were alive, and it worked out really good. David Jolis, or probably Jolis, said, how do you treat the green fungus? So the green fungus is, I would say it's non-treatable mostly. If you catch it early on, people say that you can do like ick guard and soak it into their food and then let it sit for 3 days and then feed them that food and it will kill off the green fungus. Other people say like you can do like heavy salt dips or things like that. And there's a lot of different methods out there. I haven't found any that worked yet. Still testing, hopefully to find something that works. But right now, in my opinion, there's no cure for the green fungus. Let's see. April Shaw said, do you know you'll, at Flip Aquatics, April Shaw said this, do you know when you'll have some more Black King Kong / pandas? April, we'll definitely have more. We're actually ordering more this week. And so, again, they'll have to go through the 30-day quarantine. They went a lot quicker than we expected, and so we didn't have enough. So I'll be ordering more this next time so we won't run out again. But I'll definitely have some more available. Thanks for asking, April. Feeling Better says, at Flip Aquatics, do you have Shrimp King samples? Can we still enter the contest? Yeah, so the contest, oh my gosh. I need to get it up and running. It's killing me. I was going to do it this weekend, then ran out of time. So that needs to get up. I think there is a couple entries still left in the contest. It's on the website. I believe there's maybe 3 or 4. So you can enter still if you want. You're going to be a little bit behind from other people, but you have plenty of time to catch up. It's a 6-month-long contest, so all the time in the world. Shrimp King Foods, we actually just ordered more 5-in-1 sample packs. So it's still the normal cost of the food, which is like $19.99 or $20 or something. But it comes with all 5 of their main foods. And so you can definitely use or order that once we get it back in stock. Who Said Aqua said, hey, Rob, I was wondering, could I do shrimp in a show tank? Yeah, of course. I think shrimp in a show tank would be beautiful. So I would definitely do that. Let's see. It has to be, and he said, at Flip Aquatics, does fish eat planaria? So usually no. But they could. There's nothing that's stopping them from them. I'm sure some types of fish will eat them, but for the most part, I would say no. But really, I don't think I've ever seen a huge outbreak of planaria in a fish tank. So I'm assuming they probably eat them. Morgan says, will you ever sell ghost shrimp? Because whenever I buy them from PetSmart, they die within a day, and I've tried everything to keep them alive. Probably not. I probably will not sell ghost shrimp, unfortunately. Jake Rowe says, at Flip Aquatics, what 2 shrimp can I breed to try and get orange-eyed red ghost shrimp? Orange-eyed red ghost shrimp. So I think that is one. See, I'm not good with the like high-end genetics of how they got like these crazy-looking shrimp. I'm sure they mixed, because the red ghost, I believe, is a type of crystal too. So I think they mixed like some crystal with something else and got that, and then somewhere along the line they got the ghost or the orange eyes. So I'm not sure, to be completely honest. Mike Kinseth said, how many shrimp can I have in a 29-gallon aquarium with about 5 fish? So it depends on the fish, because most fish will eat shrimp. They can fit them in their mouth, they'll eat them, especially tetras. They're mean little suckers. But Mike, in a 29-gallon aquarium, if you had nothing in it, I would put probably – I would personally put 100 shrimp in there. You can do 3 shrimp per gallon usually. I mean, that's a little on the heavy side. 2 shrimp per gallon is probably a pretty good number to go by. But with 5 fish in there, I'd probably start with like 30 or 40 shrimp and just see what happens. But make sure your shrimp are not, or your fish are not going to eat your shrimp. That would be terrible. Jordan said, what do you make of the hydrogen peroxide oxidator? Are they beneficial in your opinion? So with all high-end things, like mineral stones and oxidators, do they help? I don't know. But do they hurt? No. They definitely don't hurt anything, or people wouldn't be using them. And so, like, if I had a very expensive tank with, like, really expensive shrimp that I really wanted to breed, I would probably buy an oxidator and put some mineral stones in it just for extra peace of mind. Like, they're not hurting anything, but they're not really necessarily, or they're definitely not hurting anything. But are they helping? They could be. They could not be. But at least it gives me that peace of mind that I'm really trying hard. But if you're going to just breed mass quantities of shrimp, I would say don't get them. I haven't seen them work. But I can honestly say that I've never used the hydrogen peroxide oxidator. I think the idea of it's really cool. They're just really expensive, so I've never really bought one. Shogun Atomic says, without giving away too much, how do you keep the shrimp line from being too inbred like you do? Like, do you get some then cross with your own strain? So shrimp in general, you really can't inbreed them too much. You have to think of it this way. Like, the highest quality shrimp are the most inbred shrimp. Like, it's people that have been working with the same colony for 10 years and finally got the color that they want. And that female might only produce 4 or 5 viable eggs, but that is like the highest quality shrimp out there. And so inbreeding shrimp really doesn't pose a problem, in my opinion. Now, if you had 2 shrimp and they bred, and then of all the babies, they all died except for one, and that one shrimp bred with the other 2 shrimp, and then it was just like a very narrow tree, then it wouldn't go good. But most shrimp will have like 100 babies, and then 100 babies will breed with each other, and they'll have another 400 babies. And so they have so many babies that it really won't make a difference. And so I don't think inbreeding is really a problem with shrimp. Eseekland, or Eseenkalad, I don't know how you say it. It says, I'm planning to add cherry shrimp to my planted aquarium. Is RO water really a must? No, absolutely not. If your tank parameter falls in the parameters of a shrimp tank, like, 8 to 15 GH and 3 to 8 KH, then you're going to be just fine. I'm promising you. The only thing that could happen, the reason we use RO water is because the city water, usually they treat for things that aren't harmful, like the toxins the chemicals they put into city water to treat for like a bacteria bloom or something like that isn't necessarily harmful to people, but it could be extremely harmful to shrimp or fish. And so they do that quite often. And so I've known lots of people that had their whole tank or had their whole fish room set up on a drip system or a water change system, and the city put something in the water and killed their whole fish room. I've seen it happen time and time again, and so that's why I don't use city water, but it's definitely not a must use RO water. You can use any water you like. Usually if you have well water, it's good to use like 50% RO water and 50% well water. Usually it gets you to pretty good parameters just depending on where you live, and so that's a good thing. JH Aquatics says, yeah, I'm seeing the white stripe on their backs. Calcium. So the white stripe on their back, you're asking if you need to feed them calcium or if it's too much calcium is why they have the white stripe. Shrimp just get that white stripe all the time. I really don't know what causes it. It depends. Like the white stripe going down their whole back, I think it's just genetics. The white stripe going across like the back of their neck, more or less, is because of bad molt, which more calcium would definitely help. Let me scroll down to the bottom. Feeling Better says, at Flip Aquatics, just placed my first order. Can't wait to get my black rose. That's awesome. Oh, the one thing I didn't mention is all the black rose orders from today and tomorrow will not ship out till next week, just because this week we're already like crazy busy, and so they will ship out the following week. I see Jeremy Sargent Tanks in the house doing his moderator duties. Thank you, Jeremy, for stepping up and being here. Always good to see you. But yeah, so thank you guys for all the orders for the black rose. Definitely see some coming in, so thank you guys so much. Really do appreciate it. If you guys didn't know, we are doing a Shrimp Saturday special. Even though this is Sunday, I had planned on doing a Shrimp Saturday video that I didn't get around to. And when I used to do Shrimp Saturday videos, I would always do a special on the shrimp I was talking about. And so that's why we're talking about black rose today, and that's why we're doing a special on them. The special is for 25% off, and so it's what is it? It's like, oh, the discount code is Black Rose 25. So my bad, brain fart. But thank you, Feeling Better, for the order. Really do appreciate it. Jordan's asking a question. Says, what is the best way to breed Neos? Got some blue Neos on the way. Looking to try something different from my cherry shrimp breeding setup. The best way to breed Neos is to have them in a tank with a matin filter. Nothing really, a matin filter. Make sure it's nice hard water, and make sure they get fed really good. Now, if you can do those things, they are going to breed like crazy for you. I have a buddy that keeps them in with plecos, and he breeds the living daylights out of them all day, every day, because he feeds them like crazy. He actually does huge water changes, so they're really hardy, and they do really well. Past No Judgment said, hi, Rob. Can you keep shrimp in a breeder box indefinitely for selective breeding purposes? Scared I'll miss my chance when my females are ready. Space limited or limitations means no breeder tanks. So yes, 100%. I think that's a great idea. You can see back here, I actually have one of the breeder boxes hanging on the side of the tank, and you most definitely can keep shrimp in there long term. If you're going to do a small breeder box, I'd probably only do like 3 shrimp, like maybe 1 male, 2 females. If you're going to do the big breeder box, maybe like 5 shrimp or 6 shrimp, something like that. And so, yeah, there's definitely nothing wrong with that at all. You just got to make sure you top off your tank, because if you don't top off the tank, that will start the breeder box will stop running. So great question, though. Yeah, you can definitely keep them in there indefinitely. Let's see here. Morgan said, one last question. Do I have to have Java moss in the shrimp tank, or will guppy grass work just fine? Guppy grass will work just fine. Plants in general are good. The more surface area you give the shrimp, the better they'll do. So, yep, great question. Icy Kick says, what would red cherry shrimp breed with blue, or what would red cherry shrimp look like if they were bred with blue velvet shrimp? Blue velvet shrimp. I knew the yawn was coming. It had to come at some point today. Blue velvet shrimp are actually bred from cherry shrimp. And so if you breed blue velvet shrimp with cherry shrimp, you'll probably get blue velvet shrimp, bloody or cherry shrimp, and then you'll get probably the blue rillies, which are like red head, red tail, blue midsection. That's what I would bet my money on. Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Wolf Boy 1946 says, do you sell cherry shrimp? Absolutely, we sell cherry shrimp. We sell USA bred cherry shrimp. Yeah, Robert, I'll get to you in a second. I know it's bad. But yes, I do sell cherry shrimp. The cherry, you said fire cherry shrimp. Our imported cherry shrimp are fire cherry shrimp. Not all of them are that good a color, but some are even better than fire shrimp, or peanut or fire red shrimp. That's what they call them. And so you go with the imported ones. We also sell USA bred ones, which are like a clear, more of a clear shrimp, but they are like hardy as can be. Sharon Thornton says, do you think shrimp would be okay for a 13-year-old? Listen, kids love shrimp. Absolutely. A 13-year-old would be so happy to get shrimp. Every kid that I've ever has ever seen my shrimp tanks has always been like fascinated. They're always like, it's so small. Like, Mom, get me some. And so I think a 13-year-old would love them, and it also teaches them responsibility. So I am all for it. Sergeant Tanks, my man, Jeremy dropping a $5 super chat. He's like, here's for a coffee, bro. Jeremy is the coffee drinker. He drinks like 30 or 40 cups a day. Like, it's ridiculous. And so, Jeremy, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Alexis, Chris says, do purple shrimp exist? People have bred them, but like a solid, good line of purple shrimp does not exist. At least I haven't seen it. Brad Clark says, Lup Diesel, what is the smallest tank you'd use for a small group of cherry shrimp? The smallest that I feel comfortable using is a 10-gallon, just because I know my time and how busy I am, and I know I wouldn't be able to keep up on a smaller tank. And a 10-gallon is pretty forgiving. If it was up to me, I'd go with a 20-gallon. But great question. Anything smaller than that you can do, but you just got to make sure you're on top of evaporation and topping off the tank and feeding and water changes and all those good things. Robert Merle says, hey, Rob, I signed up for your newsletter but never received one. I have to say it's embarrassing. I have yet to do a newsletter. I'm going to come out with one this week. That's my goal. And I apologize for everyone that signed up for it. I still have to do a giveaway. So I'm still doing a giveaway with the newsletter. I'm going to give away I don't know what yet, but I'm giving it away to 5 people that signed up for the newsletter. And that will be when I do the first newsletter, and I'll give it away to whoever wanted it when I do the first one. Sorry, I'm like skipping all over my words. All I know, guys, it is Sunday, and it's the beginning of the week. But besides that, Game of Thrones is on tonight, which I'm like jacked up for. I can't wait. I don't know if you guys watch Game of Thrones. It's a little raunchy, so it's not like a kid-friendly show. So if you're a kid, or if you're under the age of like 18, I wouldn't watch it. But it is, storyline-wise, it is an amazing show. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, Robert Merle, sorry. My goal is to do it. Koss says, can I buy another entry for the blues you sent me? Of course, Koss. You can enter as many times as you'd like. You can definitely do that. But yeah, thank you for entering, though. It's good to have you in the competition. That's another thing. I really need to get on that, too. I'm slacking, guys. You need to get on me. Mackenzie Ferguson says, got 10 orange Sakuras from you guys and lost all but 3. That is terrible. Would the orange Sunkiss be okay to add to the group? Looking to bring the group up to at least 10 again. Please help. So, Mackenzie, I'm really sorry that you lost that many. If you send me an email, rob@flipaquatics.com, let me know, and we can kind of talk through what might have happened. But the orange Sunkiss, as long as you got the 10 orange Sakuras from us in the past import order, they should be the exact same ones with this import order, and so they definitely can go together. And the ones this import order are doing really, really well. The ones last import order did pretty well too, so I'm surprised that they died. But let me know. So please let me know, and we can definitely, I'll hook you up and make it up to you for losing that many. Let's see. April Shaw dropping a super chat, $10 super chat. Thank you for all the information and hard work. You are so welcome, April. Thank you so much for your support, not only through the YouTube channel, but through the Flip Aquatics and your orders and everything you do. April Shaw has just been a huge blessing to us and someone I really enjoy as a customer and as a person. And April, we are getting your package out tomorrow, so look out for that, and we will send you any shrimp that you're missing in your order. I apologize for the confusion. Steamfod Aquatics, Bob dropping a $5 super chat. He said, I used to search for shrimp at the beach until one day when I pulled a mussel. Ah, that is a terrible joke, by the way. That is really funny, though. I used to search for shrimp at the beach until one day I pulled a mussel. Oh, Bob. Thank you so much for the super chat, Bob. Jeremy dropping a $25 super chat. Man, you guys are making it rain right now. Everybody dropping the super chats. He said, this one's for you and Amanda. One exception, take a day off and go out for a date night. Oh, man. I definitely want to do it. The nice thing is Amanda actually went down to 2 days a week. She's going to start helping out with the business a lot. So now I'm working 2 days a week for my dad. She's working 2 days a week for the hospital. And then other than that, we're full-time Flip Aquatics. And we got Jeff working full-time. So it's been good. So hopefully we'll start freeing up some more of our schedule. Or hopefully we just keep getting busy and busy and busy. But Sergeant Tanks, Jeremy, thank you so much. So huge shout out to April Shaw, Steamfod Aquatics, and Sergeant Tanks, Jeremy, for those super chats. You guys are awesome. Really do appreciate the super chats. That really, really does help. You guys have no idea. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything else. Oh, we got Challenge the Wild in the house. What's going on, Challenge the Wild? He said I got a sun filter. Challenge the Wild. I was watching your video about, listen to this. So the poor guy, I think he's 16. I'm pretty sure, and he got somebody was giving away a reef tank, and he was talking to him on Craigslist. I guess his dad found the ad, and he's like, I want the tank. They're like, yeah, you can have the tank. Here's the address. Come pick it up. So he schedules a day to come pick it up. He's like getting information from everyone he knows to go pick up this tank. He's so excited. He drives, I think he said it was like 2 hours to Lancaster, PA, and he gets there, and the house is abandoned. No one's there. And it was a total scam. So he wasted like 4 hours of his time. He got everyone hyped up for it, asked everyone for input, got a tank, or like got the place ready for it, and then it didn't work out. So that sucks, man. Some people are just not nice. So sorry about that, but I'm glad it all worked out. At least you got a 90-gallon tank. You know, that's pretty sweet. So shout out to Challenge the Wild. King Lee said, when do I split up a colony to make 2 colonies? So in a perfect world, what I would do is if I had a tank, and let's say I had a tank of 10 shrimp, and they bred, and they got huge, and had a lot of babies, I would move the adult shrimp, if I had like 100 babies, to another tank, and let them breed in that tank, and let the babies grow up, and then sell off the babies, and then as they bred in the next tank, move them back, and maybe keep like 10 of the best babies or something like that, and then just keep bouncing them back and forth between tanks. Man, we got another $10 super chat. You guys are awesome, man. We need to bring a hashtag super chat squad. Everybody's dropping super chats. Thank you guys so much. The fish nerd, again, shout out to Carlos. He said, thank you for the quick tour the other day. Carlos, the fish nerd, he drove 4 hours to come pick up his shrimp order, hang out for a little bit, do a little video, and it was cool meeting him and hanging out for a little bit. I believe I'm actually going to his house and doing a fish room tour, which will be a lot of fun. I got to get it approved by the boss still, a.k.a. Amanda Pandalise. So make sure you guys harp on her. But thank you so much, the fish nerd. I look forward to hopefully stopping out in September and seeing what you got going on. But we're getting close to that. I'll answer another question. Let's see. Come on. I know there's got to be some questions out there. Mackenzie Ferguson said, I will send you an email tonight. Thank you for all the help at Flip Aquatics. You are so welcome. I'm always here to help when I can. Asparagus Ash, I love that name, says, yo, Flip Aquatics, you want me to send like 50 of my tricolored Rillies from England? See what you think? If you can get them here, I will definitely take them and make a video because I've never seen tricolored Rillies before. And I think that would be crazy good. Ryland's Aquarium says, I got 5 black rose shrimp and 3 came in dead. We already talked about that. Ryland, please let me know about that, and we'll get you some more shrimp. It's never good when they arrive dead. In no way, shape, or form. But we always stand behind our shrimp and all that good stuff. Sergeant Tank says, much love, y'all. Have a great night, bro. Take that date. I will definitely do that date night with my wife. I think that'll be awesome. But real quick, before we end and go watch Game of Thrones later on tonight, I do want to say, We did talk about the black rose today, which is a Neocaridina shrimp, and we're bringing back the shrimp Saturday. That's going to be definitely coming out next week. And what it is every week we're going to pick a certain shrimp and maybe even a product that goes along with it. And then we're going to do a discount, probably 25% every week on a different shrimp. And so who knows what next week's going to be. But we do have the discount code today, which is Black Rose 25 for 25% off Black Rose shrimp. If you guys are interested in trying them, they were one of the ones that did the best, or one of two that did the best in our import order. And so they're very hardy line. They're beautiful to look at, contrast well on a white sand. So they're definitely a good shrimp. So feel free to take advantage of that discount if you guys are looking for shrimp. If not, thank you so much for learning with me and being a part of the live stream. I appreciate all the support you guys do for me, and it's just been awesome. Some discount on the Black Rose. It is 25%, so it's Black Rose 25, no spaces. Real quick, Morgan, you have all the questions tonight. Morgan says, can I breed bristlenose, plecos, guppies, and shrimp in one 45-gallon tank? Lots of guppy grass. The shrimp probably won't breed as much because of the guppies, but they'll probably do okay. The plecos will be completely fine, so that's what I would do. But you guys make an awesome night. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on a Sunday. Hopefully you got to learn something. Thank you to everyone, literally everyone that was here, and especially the people that did super chats or placed orders or anything like that. You guys are awesome. Kenneth Ben says, keep it shrimp. $5 super chat as we're closing it down. Asparagus says, enjoy Game of Thrones. So you guys are awesome. Thank you for the love. Thank you for everything. You guys are so amazing. Really do appreciate all of you. Much love for me and Amanda and Ruby. You guys make it a great week. Talk with you guys soon. Later, guys.